if you're going to open up a restaurant downtown in the space that used to house Pigaul's, you simply have to know what you're doing. And the man with that responsibility is here now. He's executive chef Steve Geddes, who runs the kitchen at Local 127, one of downtown's newest restaurants. And Steve, you're going to show us some tips for the at-home gourmet, specifically dealing with canning. I'm told this is the canning season. I know tomatoes are certainly in season. Tell us more. There seems to be a lot more talk these days about canning and letting people know where their food is coming from. And this is specific to what we're talking about right now.
Well, you know, that is so true. Local food and where it comes from has become very important to know where your food chain is from. And one of the great ways to preserve the bounties of the summer, the plethora of goods at something like Findlay Market, is to do some simple home canning. And Jardin, who owns Ball Branded Canning, is doing a 125th anniversary, and to kind of celebrate that as part of that, they've developed this wonderful home canning discovery kit. It really kind of breaks down the boundaries of canning that's been so intimidated that our great-grandmother used to make all our pickles, and we thought it was a secret mystery to deal with. You know, we've got a simple salsa today here, and we're going to go over a couple of steps.
Go ahead.
To tell you a little
bit. I also want to know as well, is this seems to be something, you mentioned our grandmother's canning. This seems to have been lost perhaps on my generation, but it is making a comeback. Tell us about that, and tell us also as well, you're preparing a salsa, I think.
Well, it's very exciting because, you know, the food chain was hijacked for about 100 years with the industrialization of it, and now with Food Network and a variety of other people that have gotten behind it, we're taking it back. And now it's about the farmer. It's about good, fresh ingredients. And it's about harvesting them at the ripest time with no preservatives, lower sodium, and a healthier style of eating that's tastier and, more importantly, tastes good.
Let's whip something up here.
All right. Well, the canning book comes with a little 12-step recipe, or 12 recipe guide, 1, 2, 3 step. It's very simple. For the salsa, we take our tomatoes, peppers, garlic, salt, onions, vinegar, a little sugar, and we add it all to a little pot here and start cooking it, simmer it for about 15 minutes. Okay. We prepare our jars, which are very simply prepared. We recommend putting them in the dishwasher. Sterilizes them, keeps them nice and warm. Salsa's cooked in 15 minutes. You basically ladle the rest of the salsa into a jar, leave about half an inch in the top of it so you have room for expansion, and then you basically would clean the top of it, make sure it's nice and clean. You would place your band and your lid on top and just barely finger tighten it. The kit comes with a little handy submersion. You would then simmer it for about 15-20 minutes. This recipe takes 20 minutes. I then turn it off, let it sit in the water bath for about 5-10 minutes, pull it out, let it cool, and it'll store for another year from then on out. Okay, I was going to ask you about a year or so, at least, that you have here, and I want to let folks know a little bit more about your restaurant as well. We've got to run, but it's called the field to the table movement, I guess, is what you call it. We deal with a lot of different farmers and try to get their food fresh as possible to the table. Local 127 is the restaurant downtown. Steve, great to see you, and thanks as well for telling us more about this. What's old is new again, I guess. It's true. In canning, at least. It's about time.